Alright guys, what is going on? Oink here, and I am back with seasonals from last week. I just want to first of all say sorry there hasn't been a couple of videos for a while. My computer's been completely broken, no access to editing, recording, all of that good stuff. All I managed to do was the stream the other day, so I'm just going to do this one. I know it's late, I know I normally do them on the day they come out, but I'm just going to crack on, so it's kind of, it's on there for the history book, so to speak. So, the event was the 4-wheel drive challenge. Any 4-wheel drive car, 530 performance points, sorry, and sports hard tyres. Tracks, we got Nürburgring, the shorter version, Fuji Speedway, Madrid circuit, Autumn Ring, and Mount Aso is the custom track on the end. The prize for this event is a level 12 gift ticket, random ticket. The car I chose to use was the Casco Dunlop Subaru Impreza. It's the GT300 spec for the Impreza. This car is just incredible. If anyone hasn't driven this car before, it's just got like perfectly neutral handling. I mean, if you don't like understeer or oversteer, this is the car for you. I mean, even on sport hard tyres, it handles incredibly well. The only difference I've made it is the mid-range turbo, and then just adjusted the rear downforce so that I fit into the 530 performance points. And that is simply it. Left all the tuning stock. This car can be an absolute beast with a good custom tune, but I've left it stock because this event wasn't too difficult. You shouldn't have any problems really on any of the tracks. We're starting off here though with Nürburgring. This is Nürburgring GP5, I think it is. It's the slightly shorter one where you turn right a bit earlier on and cut the bottom half of the hill out. As usual, we're going to play the first lap through, and then I'll cut into where I take first place, and then my final, the time as I cross the line, as per normal. In terms of videos and streaming, by the way, just whilst we watch this lap, my computer, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, is now fully operational. Of course, it has mean I've had to redo everything, all my settings, all my, as normal when you reinstall Windows, all that stuff. I had to do a fresh install. Eventually, after all the trouble was sorted. So hopefully, the videos will come out fine, and I should be back on schedule with the Thursday and Sunday videos. So like I do want to just apologise for not having those up, but what can you do? Computers can be trouble sometimes. But it's just good to be back. I did manage to do a single stream the other day, as I said, on my laptop, but it just won't handle video editing, and you don't really want to have to go through installing everything on there and struggling, just big time to produce on the laptop. So hopefully back to streaming and YouTube video making. Anyway, didn't really talk about the lap much. It's a pretty simple one. There's my first lap. I'm taking the first 6 after one lap, and taking first a little over halfway round on the 4th lap, and getting somewhere around 138s, 139s lap times there. I crossed the finish line, and we move into the Fuji Speedway. This is the full track. This is not a shorter one, which can't be. There is a shorter one of this. And again, not too difficult. Obviously, make sure you catch a bit of draft where you can. There's lots of straight sections on this, so ensure that you're making the most out of the draft. The opposition cars aren't that much slower top speed wise. This is the normal way that it goes. They're about similar-ish top speed, and just very, very slow in the corners. So because of that, you do actually want to make the most out of the draft. I just kind of use that guy as a meat shield. But yeah, make the most out of the draft on the straights, because they won't really be going any slower than you once you do get to the straights. So yeah, be sure to catch those drafts. And elsewhere, just again, as usual, be aware that the AI are going to be quite slow on the exit of corners, so just be sure that you're ready to dodge the AIs when you're tucked in behind them. At close proximity. Like for example, the corners like here, it's dodgy because like there they just don't go anywhere. They just stop on the corner. So yeah, be aware of that. You don't want to be stuck behind them. And yeah, I mean, again, another one that shouldn't cause too many problems. The opposition, I mean, I've kind of overpowered myself by giving it this car. all of the oppositions are basically road cars, street cars, four-wheel drive street cars. Most of them are like Evos, or I think I've seen like a TT in here somewhere, and a couple of standard Imprezas. But yeah, kind of, I felt a little bit cheap using this car. But as I often say, like with these events, it really doesn't like. I don't know, there's not like that much of a challenge, and I don't really ever bother to challenge myself by like down powering these cars, because yeah, I don't know, whatever. There we go, passing the guy in first place at the end of lap 3 on the straight, lapping like 151s or so, and get the job done. We move into Madrid. This one you want to be particularly careful of the AI cars being slow. They're actually very slow. Oh, got a random pickup truck in this race apparently. They're actually very slow on the entrance and the exit to corners in this track. They brake fairly early, and they brake quite hard early, and then kind of roll into the corners and then just don't accelerate out the other side. So double be careful in the corner areas when you're around the other drivers, because they will be extremely slow. And also don't forget, like, this track is deceivingly I don't know, the depth perception I always find on this track is a little bit tricky. Maybe it's because there's a lot going on around the track. Don't brake too late is what I'm trying to say. I sometimes find like that I think, oh, I've got loads of space to brake, and you know, I end up just flying into the wall, and then I get sad. So just, yeah, make sure you hit your braking spots nicely. Brake nice and early. If you need to, you can always let the brake off and come into the corner a bit slower. Another one that shouldn't really cause you problems. Most of these I seem to be crossing lap 1, having overtaken half of the field. It's only sort of the guy who's in first place that takes maybe another lap or so to catch up with, but never really a big challenge. Of course, watch out for the chicane there. Always a bit of a caution on the track, because it is very slow, and again the AI are very slow, so if you're coming through there as I did with an AI, be particularly careful. I give the guy in position 1 a little love tap there and pass him. What was it, lap 3 or maybe lap 4 again, halfway round or so. Lapping about 132s at Madrid. And we are moving on to Autumn Ring, which is the penultimate track. The car will understeer just slightly here. Again, it's not particularly noticeable, but a little bit of understeer, just because some of there, like particularly like in sections like these, there's some kind of funny off cambers. The track is moving quite a lot, so I said earlier this car is very neutral handling, and I still stand by this. It has barely any oversteer, and the oversteer that it does have is very controllable, it being four-wheel drive. The understeer, generally speaking, is pretty minimal, but I mean, all cars will pick up understeer when you get that off camber. So just make sure you're hitting the apexes nicely. If you enter the corner a little bit wide or a little bit late, you might find the car just pushes wide, and you'll have to take the corner particularly slow. So just, yeah, make sure you hit those apexes dead on. Really focus on that on some corners. This final little I don't know what you call it, a kind of S bend, I guess. Not really an S, it's that little squiggle there. Anyway, I took that quite sloppily and then hit an AI on the exit there, but you can kind of hop the corners to try and keep it as flat as possible. You want to obviously minimize the amount that you're needing to turn into each one, so try and sort of just hop over where the like rumble strip areas are on the curbs. That'll keep your speed nicely, which I didn't do too well. Anyway, taking first at the very end of lap 3, lapping that last lap was a 123.4, so 123s, 124s. And we will move on to our final track, which is a custom Mount A, so notoriously weird in terms of the track and the hills and the cambers, and this obviously is no different. Very hilly, lots of blind turn-ins like this. You can't see the corner until you're actually there, so might just take you one sort of practice go before you really go for it. I mean, to be honest, even if you did make a whole load of mistakes, you could probably pretty easily get the win on this one, even if you did do this just first time and, yeah, not really know what you were getting yourself into. Most of the time the cambers are nice and positive and help you turn into the corners, allowing you to be really fast around some of the corners like there, just full throttle, third gear all the way around the corner. And then there's this one corner right at the end which just trolls you, and I think it is the only one, or maybe like one of the only corners which is like an off camber, and you see it coming up here. If you miss the apex on that one, you'll just get pushed wide straight into the barrier. You really don't want to do that if you can avoid it. That will definitely slow your lap times down. But again, another easy set of seasonals. As I said, apologies for the no video. There's taking first, lapping 112s thereabout, finish it up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be back on track, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.